Well, this is another one of my little presidential bid videos for 2020. If you choose to vote for me. This one's about what I'm going to do for science, NASA, and why I don't like pseudoscience. Okay. And of course, for free, just check the description, follow the link to my website, and all the other stuff. Like, subscribe, dislike if you choose, or whatever, you know. And yes, I know I have no chance of winning. First of all, let's talk pseudoscience. I can't stand pseudoscience because people fall for that crap, and it's killed people. People have died because of pseudoscience. And of course, do not get your science from the news. Never get your science. You know, oh, they were surprised. Scientists were surprised. Scientists were baffled. The same as this crime was committed. The cops were baffled. I mean, they just... sensationalism. That's all it is, sensationalism. And pseudoscience, you know, if a pharmaceutical company can find a way to make money off of herbal medicine, they would do it if it worked. And alternative medicine that works is mainstream medicine. Think about that. It would become mainstream medicine. All that, you know, sodium bicarbonate cures all your diseases, and put sodium bicarbonate on a cancer and it goes away. That's hogwash, nonsense. All the other stuff, I mean, I just absolutely can't stand pseudoscience. This is why, as President of the United States, if you elect me, I will increase funding for science education. Obviously, I've said in other videos about learning logic and how to form arguments, learning the Constitution, political science, and so many other type of things. There's a whole list of things I've already went off. I'm not going to do it again. But this one is about science. They will need to learn. I want people to learn what a theory is, what a scientific theory is, how theories are formed, the difference between belief and why scientists don't say, I believe in evolution, I believe in the theory of gravity, or any of that stuff. There's a reason scientists would never say that. You don't use the term belief. You don't say, I believe. You say, I support. The best evidence supports the model of the Big Bang, the model of evolution, the model of this, model of that, blah, 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 blah. That's why I would increase funding so people have better science education. I believe that's going to do a whole lot better than, you know, religious education. And, yeah, I said that before, I would require world religions. Because people need to learn about all the other religions. It's a lot more helpful than you may think, because people will see just how everybody's so sure of their religious beliefs. But anyways, back to science. I would, of course, make stem cell research legal. Embryonic stem cell research legal. More funding for science, more funding for these things. More funding for NASA. I personally would like to get with other world leaders and create international space agency where all the nations in the world are working together for scientific progress. I would like to have a base on the moon by 2030. It will be mainly, you know, miners and scientists, you know, and obviously you're going to build rockets on the moon to get to Mars and other planets. And my dream, obviously none of us will be alive to see this, but I would like to see the moon, I'm sorry, because the moon will have the bases on the moon in around 2030, 2035, but by the end of next century, by the end of the 22nd century, before the beginning of the 23rd century, hopefully, we'll have colonies on Venus, both Venus and Mars. You may say, well, Venus, you know how it is and everything. And scientists have different hypotheses on how to, you know, colonize it. More funding to NASA, more funding to them, to science, will allow us to figure out how to make Venus hospitable. And Mars. And of course, we developed the Century ships to send people far out into space. More space exploration. And of course, I'm not one of those idiot politicians. Well, if it's a benefit, what's the benefit of this scientific research? Benefit that scientific research. You ever heard of John Clark Maxwell? The cell phone that you use? All the electronic devices you use? And this guy's from the 1800s now. Your washing machine, your refrigerators. Learn about the guy. Electromagnetism. Okay? If it wasn't for... He was doing research for the sake of research. And because of that, we have all this stuff we have. But politicians, well, what's the benefit? What's the benefit? Can you imagine one of these idiot politicians ask John Clark Maxwell, what's the benefit of electromagnetism? How is that going to help us? We'll still be back in horse-drawn carriages and crap. These politicians are short-sighted. They know nothing about science, and that's why we need to increase science education, so we won't have these idiot politicians we have. Some of them are just... Watch Aaron Raw, his videos, ARONAR, when he has to talk to politicians. There's one, just, what was it called? 5 times that Fox News were, basically destroyed by their yes. I'll see if I can find the video and put it up in the description. Hopefully, I won't be able to do it today, but tomorrow. Hopefully I'll do that. But seriously, we need more science education, more money to NASA, because obviously there's certain things we can't do now, but we got to start doing something that no one's ever done before, and that is think about future generations. How we can make their lives better and easier. We can get some things done now, get some of the foundations done now, so they don't have to do it. Because how do you want our time? Do you want to be remembered like as the Romans were, or all the other in the past? Were they all thinking of their own time period? Very, very rarely do they think about the future, about what they're creating. How is it going to affect the future? We need to change that. We need more money for science. And I will definitely put more money in science. Of course, taxing churches too, but I already mentioned that. Thanks. And remember, 2020 comes around. I may not be qualified to be president as in the way you may say, but hey, can't be worse than Trump. Remember Trump? He won, so why not me? At least I understand science. I have a degree in molecular biology. And I want better funding for science, education. Education in general. I believe in more funding for all forms of education. Art, music. I believe in physical education, because you can't just keep your kids in the freaking classroom all day. They need to go out and have fun. They need art and music. Not just to be business friendly either. Just to exercise their brains and exercise their creativity. What's wrong with that? Have you ever noticed the government always cuts funding to education first before anything? And of course, I believe in building infrastructure in the country. All this stuff, you're like me, I will try to, I'll have to have advisors. We'll speak together and decide how best to do it.